Hello! So, I'm going to ask you a question before we start this video. What made you click on this video? Your hand, right? This is your hand. But what made your hand do it? Well, your brain told your hand to do it. What's in your brain? There's a lot of cells in your brain. These little units in your brain. Okay? And how do these cells work? They need molecules. Not just any type of molecules, large molecules. Like big molecules. Multiple atoms, everything's super duper big. Why are big molecules important? Because big molecules have a bunch of functions, which we're going to talk about in later videos. So what are big molecules called? Macro molecules. Or just to be more broad, large biological molecules. What's the difference between macromolecules and large biological molecules? Because macromolecules, they're a special type of compound. They are polymers. Poly meaning multiple. Multiple. Okay. Multiple of what? If you know your Greek roots well enough, you know it's multiple monomers. So multiple monomers make a polymer, and breaking down a polymer makes a monomer. Because poly means a lot, and mono means one. So a good portion of the large important molecules used in cell function are macromolecules. The only exception being lipids, which we'll talk about later in a different video. So, one important thing to know is that, so let's draw a polymer here. I'm going to draw a polymer. Let's just draw a bunch. So this polymer has a bunch of monomer units, right? 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. These are all connected, right? How do they combine? How did they form? Because we already know that these molecules didn't start out connected. So they must have been individual bits that formed into this. So how did they form? So one important thing about monomers, these monomers that are important in biology, is that they have 2 ends. One end is a hydrogen end, and one end is a hydroxyl end. Hydroxyl meaning, it's an important group, hydroxyl meaning OH. Hydroxyl. So every single monomer has these. So, why is this important? Well, this is because, let's say we have our monomers here. So zoom in. Zoom in. So these 2 monomers right here, they have a hydrogen over here, and a hydroxyl over backwards, and a hydroxyl over here. And one thing you know is that if these 2 are right next to each other, this oxygen really wants the hydrogen. So it snatches it. Then what does that do? It will remove the bond over here, because then it would be full. So then what would leave is a water molecule. And what does that do? After the water molecule forms, then these 2 are gone. And then immediately after, we got a bond. So this is called dehydration. Mainly because you lose the water after doing this. And a more fancier term is dehydration synthesis, because it synthesizes as water is lost. So, what about the opposite? So the opposite would do what you'd expect. We have this. A water molecule will come in, and then when you add it, it'll break down the molecule, which is the exact opposite of what happens when it forms. This is called hydrolysis. Hydro meaning water, and lysis, lyse meaning breakdown, break. So that's a fitting term. So, what did we learn here? So, these special types of polymers are made of monomers, and these monomers are synthesized by dehydration and are broken down with hydrolysis. One important thing you might have thought: there's only very few macromolecules in a cell, and how could they have such a variety of functions? Well, the key to the reason that there's so many molecules that have so many functions is called arrangement. It's a very important term you have to understand. Arrangement is key in biology. Like with proteins, there's only 20 amino acids, which make up proteins. And as you know, proteins have multiple functions, like with muscle contraction, mouth movement, enzymes, all that. So how does that all form with only 20 amino acids? It's called arrangement. Because let's say if I have amino acid A, B, and C, I can arrange them like A, B, C, or I can arrange them with like B, A, C. And these two would have completely different functions. These would have completely different functions. So this is key. Because of the arrangement of monomers into polymers, it will cause different functions. Which is why macromolecules are so important as monomers that form polymers. Because then it would have the arrangement value. So, arrangement is key in molecules and cells. And one final thing, the four major biologically large molecules are carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids. So, see you guys next time. Bye!